My Praying Husband, a story by Evie's Heart. Amira's wedding day was bliss. She was over the moon. Marrying the hottest and one of the richest big boys in town felt like a dream come true for her. Everyone advised her to begin praying for her marriage immediately. The devil will come to test you, but don't give in, they all advised her. On her wedding night, Amira was in their bedroom praying while waiting for her husband to join her. Dandy, Amira called her husband, who had entered the bathroom an hour ago, but got no response. She opened the door but found out he was gone. She was shocked because she never left their room. How did he disappear? Amira asked in shock. She dialed his number but got no response. That was when she saw a message from him. I got a call from Pastor Ray. We are having a prayer session for me. I will be right back. Amira smiled when she saw the message. Oh, how blessed I am to marry a man that loves and fears God so much. She laid on the bed while she remembered how they met during church fellowship. She remembered their pastor calling her out and matching her with the richest man in their church. Imagine me, a woman like me, finding such favor in the sight of God, Amira thought and started singing praises. Meanwhile, Dandy was dressed in black with a face mask and head wrap, standing on cue, touching himself while waiting to climb the corpse before him. He was told that a fresh corpse was brought in by Pastor Ray, and they both drove straight to the morgue to lay with it. Pastor Ray and Dandy sleep with corpses for power. They will never sleep with any woman. If they do, they will die. Everyone wished to be Pastor Ray's wife. She was always dressed in designer bags, shoes, clothes, and went for vacation in the best cities in the world. But her marriage of 1 year has not been consummated. Her husband was always away almost every night praying with Dandy. Pastor Ray's wife, Nina, had been praying and wishing the devil away from her marriage, but no change. So, on this particular night, Dandy found this particular corpse more attractive than the other ones he had ever been with, so he asked the morgue attendant to ship it to his home. So Pastor Ray and Dandy paid a heavy amount, and the corpse was taken to Dandy's house. It was kept in his secret room and was locked up. Amira woke up to prayers vibrating in her living room. She joined them and was happy that she married a complete man of God. Later that day, Amira was bathing when she heard sobbing inside her room. She quickly put the tap off to listen properly, but the sobbing stopped. She started bathing again. However, the door of the bathroom opened when she was washing her face. So she shouted, "Who is there?" but got no response. She continued bathing, but a scratch at her back made her scream in shock while jumping out of the bathtub and hitting her head on the floor. She was feeling dizzy from hitting her head when she opened her eyes a little and saw the scariest thing she had ever seen breathing down her neck. "Leave me alone," she cried as she blacked out. Amira woke up and found Dandy beside her, looking worried. "Where is she?" Amira shouted and started crying. "She? No one is here." Dandy held her down and said, "I found you unconscious on the floor in the bathroom. I guess you fell down. What happened?" Dandy asked as he petted her and was speaking in tongues. Amira later calmed down and slept off. Dandy ran into his security room to look at the CCTV inside his bathroom. Amira didn't even know that everywhere in their home had tiny hidden cameras in every corner, including their room and bathroom. Dandy looked at the CCTV but saw nothing or anyone. What or who did she see? Dandy asked himself, surprised. He then went into his secret room where the corpse was kept and observed the chains they used to bind it. The morgue attendant had advised them to chain the corpse to avoid spiritual disturbance in their home. The chain is still intact, so it wasn't the corpse, Dandy thought and called Pastor Ray. "Are we having night vigil today?" Dandy asked while stroking himself. Inasmuch as laying with corpses was a ritual they were told to perform twice in 7 days, Ray and Dandy had become addicted to it, and they now did it almost every day. "Yes, we will have a vigil today. My wife is preparing to harass me again tonight," Pastor Ray said angrily. Around 9 p.m., Pastor Ray took his bath and started dressing up to leave. His wife, Nina, locked their room door and knelt down before him. "How do I get pregnant if you wouldn't even touch me? What did I do wrong?" She was crying and raising her voice, threatening to speak out. "Are you threatening me? If you ever threaten me again, you will disappear like my ex-wife," Pastor Ray said in anger. Nina, upon hearing what he said, started shaking in fear. So he knew what happened to his ex-wife. Nina remembered how the entire church fasted and prayed for months for the return of his ex-wife, who was reported missing. She also remembered how much Ray mourned her when a certain corpse was found rotten and the police insisted it was her. She also remembered how his ex-wife's family gave a press statement, stating that the corpse that was found was not their daughter. So Ray knew what happened to her. Nina was still on the floor, deep in thought and scared, when Ray snatched the key from her hand and walked out of their room. "I will be there in a few minutes," Ray said over the phone and left. When he got to Dandy's house, everywhere was quiet. To clear every suspicion from Amira, he started singing praises and pretending to be in the spirit. "Drop the act, she is sleeping. I put a little sleeping pill in her drink. I can't take such chances. Besides, I check my CCTV footage every morning. Once I notice an odd movement from her, she will disappear," Dandy said coldly. Since Amira was asleep, they both dressed in their uniform and entered the secret room. The corpse was lying there, in chains, without a head. But something happened while they were still there. Amira felt someone waking her up. She jumped out of her bed and saw the same ghostly-looking lady she had seen while bathing. She screamed and hid near her bed, but after waiting for a while, she noticed that the lady was still standing in one place. Amira then looked up and saw her crying. "Help, help me, they are defiling my body," the lady said while stretching her hand. Amira slowly stood up, and for the first time, she looked very closely at the lady and said, "Who are you, and what do you want from me?" "Come," the lady said while waving her hand. Amira followed her, and the lady, who was breathing very fast and ragged, stopped in front of a door and said, "Open it." Amira opened the door and saw her husband dressed in black, sleeping with someone that looked like the same woman who had brought her there, except the one lying on the table was without a head. Amira immediately turned to shout, "Who are you?" but saw no one. The woman had disappeared. As Amira tried to look closely at what her husband and his friend were doing, they both turned to look at her at once and shouted while rushing towards her. That was when Amira woke up sweating and shaking. "What kind of dream is this?" she thought and stood up, rushing to that room to see if what she saw was real. But she saw Dandy and Ray coming out of the room, laughing heartily. Dandy was so startled to see Amira. How did she wake up so fast? He thought. Ray angrily walked out of the house and straight into his car. So this silly Amira would have seen us in the act, assuming she came out a few minutes earlier. How can Dandy be this careless? Next time he must double the dose of the sleeping pill. "I cannot afford any loose ends," Ray said to himself as he drove out of the compound. When Dandy watched the CCTV, he was also relieved that Amira saw nothing because she woke up the moment they came out. That night was the first time Dandy slept in their home. Amira, after firing prayers that night, wore her most alluring nightwear and was waiting for Dandy to join her. But Dandy entered his secret room and locked the door. He refused to open the door until morning. "I was communicating with God all night," Dandy lied when he came out in the morning. When he left the house that day, Amira tried to enter the secret room but found it locked. She went inside the kitchen, thinking of what to do, when the scary-looking lady appeared before her. This time, she was not dreaming. "I will open the door of the secret room for you, but I want you to see what is going on and save me." Amira wasn't scared of the lady this time. She was inquisitive to know what was happening. "How did you get in here?" Amira asked her with pity. But the lady refused to answer. Instead, she pointed toward a corner of the kitchen and said, "That is a camera. There are cameras in every part of this house, including the toilet. Look for the cameras first and cover them so that Dandy will not see when I open the door for you." Amira agreed. She didn't know why, but it felt like it was the Spirit of God guiding her. She knew deep down that something was off in her home, but she couldn't explain what it was. The lady guided her on how to mask the cameras with tape on the corners of the house where they would pass. When Amira was done doing that, the lady asked her to follow her. Amira went to the door of the secret room and pushed it, and it surprisingly opened. She looked inside, and everywhere was dark. "Put the light on," the lady said softly. When Amira did, she screamed when she saw the same lady's headless body that had been dead for days, lying there and smelling. She wanted to run out of the room, but the door slammed shut. "Please spare me. I don't know what happened to you," Amira started pleading with the lady. "I need your help." The lady walked closer to Amira. "I want you to video my body and send the message I will give you to my family. My parents will die of heartbreak if I am not found soon. I was involved in a car accident on my way back to the university and lost my life. We were many that died and were taken to the morgue. But something happened. I found your husband defiling my headless body. He even had the guts to buy me from the morgue and brought me to his home." Amira was shocked to the bone. "Are you saying my dandy sleeps with corpses? He will never do such a thing. My husband is a praying man of God, and he always held prayer vigils with our pastor." Amira was still talking when they heard the sound of the gate opening. Dandy had no gateman, his gate used remote control. He could not afford to be exposed by anyone. "He is back," the lady said. "You can't leave now because he will come in straight. Put your phone on silence and hide. You need to capture what is going on here. Maybe that will help you know the kind of man you married." Amira quickly put the light in the room off and opened the closet. She saw some black cloth on the floor of the closet and used one to cover herself while she sat inside, panting. And as predicted, Dandy walked into the secret room and put the light on. He was acting like someone high and eager to quench his thirst. "I need to hurry up for evening service," Ray said, to Amira's shock. "Check on your wife first. Your house is awfully quiet. I will check on her later. Let me lock the door and be quick with it," Dandy said, and opened the closet to put on the same black cloth Amira was using to cover herself. But he stopped halfway when they heard something fall in the kitchen. "What was that?" Ray asked, wearing his cloth back. "I told you to check on Amira first." The lady had managed to throw a plate on the ground to distract Dandy from wearing his black cloth from the closet. She knew if he took the cloth he would see Amira, so she threw another plate on the floor. Dandy jammed the door of the closet and said, "You know what, let me quickly get off before going. I can't think straight now." He moved quickly to the headless corpse and did all he wanted to do, cleaned himself up, and opened the door. "Amira, Amira," he called out her name twice, but got no response. Pastor Ray also removed his cloth and did the same thing to the corpse. Amira was able to capture both of them on a short video. "She is not here," Dandy said, panicking. Ray, upon hearing that, wore his cloth and rushed out of the room. "What do you mean she is not here? I knew bringing this corpse here may be the end of me." Ray was still talking when his phone started ringing. "They are already waiting for me in the church. Find her, and if there are signs she has seen or known anything, kill her and prepare her corpse for us." Ray left the house angry and in a hurry. "Come out now, follow me," the lady said to a shocked Amira. "Do not say a word, just follow me and listen to all that I will say. You cannot escape now, but you can pretend not to know anything. So start taking deep breaths to calm yourself down. He has not checked the backyard and around the flower garden, so follow me," the lady assured Amira, and they both walked outside through the kitchen door. "I already kept a bottle of drink and a glass for you there to make it look like you have been sitting there all this while. So once you sit down, pretend to be sleeping and I will go and bring his attention here. But first of all, I will remove all the masking tape in front of the camera," the lady said to a very scared Amira. "If you could do all these things, why not go out and call for help? He may find out that I know and kill me," Amira whispered. The lady looked at her and said, "I am only able to move around and touch things here because your husband brought my corpse into this house. I can't even leave here, so please be brave because I need your help." I don't want my family to die without knowing what happened to me. You are my only hope of giving them closure." The lady said this and walked back inside the house. She quickly removed all the tape used in masking the camera and watched as Dandy was calling different sisters in the church, asking if Amira was with them. The lady threw something at the kitchen window, and Dandy ran out to check if it was Amira. He then remembered he had not checked the garden. But Amira said she doesn't like sitting in the garden, he thought, but still tried to check. He then saw Amira backing him and lying on the table in the middle of the flower garden. "Oh," he gasped, "thank God, she is here. I thought she was inside." But how then were the plates falling in the kitchen if Amira was not there? He noticed Amira was sweating and touched her to wake her up. Amira pretended to be in deep sleep, stretched herself, and got up. Dandy looked at her and said, "Have you been drinking?" Amira, who was still shaking, managed to clear her throat. Yes, I took a few sips," she lied, but was shaking. Dandy noticed she was tense and sat down near her. "Why are you tense? Did something happen?" "No, nothing happened," Amira said and started crying. Dandy became even more confused. Why is she crying? She definitely saw something. "I can't wait to check the CCTV." Dandy was about to hold her neck from the back when Amira said, "Am I not beautiful enough? Am I not godly enough too? It is almost 2 weeks now and we have not consummated our marriage." Amira's outburst made Dandy smile. So this is it. This is why she is tense. The crying also helped Amira to calm down a bit. "You are more than enough. I am still on my 21 days fasting for God's direction. You know I told you I needed to seek the face of God in this marriage before consummating. This is why Pastor Ray is always here to guide me too," Dandy lied. Amira cried even more, but quickly cleaned her face and excused herself. When she left, Dandy relaxed and started sipping the drink in her cup while smiling. "I thought she knew," he said and smiled. Amira got inside and quickly dressed up. "Leave now and don't ever come back. When he checks the CCTV, he will know that it was taped," the lady said. "Remember the address I told you, number 26 Agin Street, off Main Road, in Akama City. Please help me." The lady was still talking when Dandy walked in and asked, "Where are you going to?" Amira started shedding tears again to confuse Dandy. "I need to speak to God at the church. Are you coming with me?" Amira quickly asked when she noticed that Dandy was about to object. "It's evening already, don't waste time, and drive a smaller car," Dandy suggested. Amira, who was still sobbing, had managed to stuff all her credentials, ATM cards, and some tiny valuables inside her handbag as she walked away. As she was about to leave, Dandy noticed the way she was looking at him and rushed into his security room to know if he would see anything. The first thing he saw was Amira sneaking into his secret room. Apparently, the masking tape they used only made it a bit dark, but it couldn't cover the camera completely. She knows, he shouted while running to get the gate remote to lock the gate as he heard the sound of Amira's car in the compound. Amira was slowly driving towards the gate when she saw the gate slowly closing back. She knew she had been caught, so instead of stopping she sped off through the remaining opening of the gate, and the back of her car was badly scratched by the gate. She continued speeding in confusion with nowhere in her mind. Dandy ran after her barefooted, screaming, "Stop the car! Stop the car!" He got into his car and sped after her. He was speeding while dialing the number of his secret undertaker, Chami. Chami was his right-hand man. "He cleans up after Pastor Ray and Dandy." "Chami, where are you?" Dandy asked as he was speeding like a mad person. Amira just ran off with the small Mercedes, the black one. "Find her now, she saw something," Dandy said while he continued driving in the direction he had seen Amira's car. Amira got to a hotel along their area, parked the car beside the fence, and ran off. She took her bag and covered her face with the big shawl she had brought from home. "I need to talk to Pastor Ray's wife, but I will need to lodge in a hotel to do that." She left her car there, took a cab to another vicinity that was very far from where she parked her car, and lodged in a hotel there. She switched off her phone, brought out the phone and SIM card she had just bought from a phone store along the street. It's already dark, but I need to move. Time is limited and I know my family will soon become the target, Amira thought. She called her mother and her only sister immediately and said, "Mom, where is Zara? I can't reach her. Take her and run now, run to the village now. Dandy is not human and he is out to hunt us down. Leave this night, do not look back. You can always call me on this line." "What is going on, Amira?" "I am calling Pastor Ray right now," Amira's mother said in protest. "No," Amira shouted. "Don't call anyone, just leave." Amira's voice and warning struck something in her mother, and she started packing her things. "Zara, where are you?" Amira's mother called her second daughter. "I am at the office, about to leave." "Remain in the office," your sister said. "Someone is after us. Please do not talk to or follow anyone. Take permission and travel to the village first thing in the morning." They were still talking when Amira's mother heard a loud bang on her gate. "I think someone is here to harm me," Amira's mother said in panic. She saw the gate swinging and about to open, so she threw her bag out through the fence and climbed the fence. Since the fence was not so tall, she jumped into the next compound and hid under a car that had been parked for years. She could hear the intruder in her home shuffling and scattering things. After a while she managed to send a message to her daughter Zara, "Whatever you are doing, don't come home, if possible, sleep in your office today." Amira changed into another cloth that she picked at a random store and headed straight to their church. "I need to speak to Pastor Ray's wife." She couldn't take the risk of calling her since she knew she would be in church with her husband. I don't know how much surveillance her husband has around her. When she got to the church, she saw people coming out and realized that the evening service Pastor Ray was hurrying to had ended. "I need to signal her for help. I am sure she is not aware of who her husband is. Her family is more connected than mine, so I believe they will be in a better position to help us." Amira knew that going to the police meant death for her and her loved ones, so she decided to join forces with Nina, Pastor Ray's wife, Amira thought as she hid at a corner of the church. After a while, she saw Dandy driving into the church and signaling Pastor Ray to come with him. She was about to walk into the church with her head covered with a shawl when she saw Pastor Ray's wife, Nina, walking towards her car and talking in anger. She walked fast towards her and greeted her while whispering, "It's me, Amira, Dandy's wife." "Oh, Amira, why are you covering your head like that?" Nina asked. Amira rushed and held her mouth, startling her in the process. Nina was upset and started raising her voice. "I know why your husband has never touched you," Amira quickly said, something she was not sure of. She needed to capture her attention and make her stop screaming. Amira also believed that Nina, as a powerful woman of God, would stand for truth and against evil. Nina dragged Amira into her car and said, "How did you hear this? I have video evidence of the abominable act your husband and mine are into. Meet me at High Spring Hotel tonight." "I need you to come alone," Amira said and walked out of the car. "You heard her right. You will take me to High Spring Hotel once we get home, so drive." Nina shouted at her driver, who was sitting there all the while, listening to their conversation. The driver quietly drove Nina home, and while he waited for her to change and be taken to the hotel, he called Pastor Ray on the phone and said, "Amira has contacted your wife. She told your wife to meet her at High Spring Hotel. What do I do?" the driver asked while looking over his shoulder. "Make sure she doesn't leave the house. I am on my way back now." Nina didn't know that all her domestic staff were spies for her husband. Even her phone calls were sometimes recorded for Ray to listen to. "Go to High Spring Hotel. Amira is there. I want her back in my home alive tonight. Make sure you bring her phone along," Dandy instructed Chami. Meanwhile, Amira was sitting in her hotel room, trying to contact her mother. "We have surrounded High Spring Hotel now. Should we go in or wait for her here?" Chami asked Dandy on the phone. "Go in. I want her back tonight. She must not speak to anyone or show anyone the video she is claiming to have," Dandy said, almost peeing on himself due to anxiety. As they were there, Ray didn't know when his wife, who was dressed like one of their servants, passed them. She was going to the real hotel address Amira had written for her on a piece of paper. Amira had written the real hotel address, which was very far from the High Spring Hotel, on a paper for Nina. So while she was saying that, she was giving her another address and her new phone number. "I am at the gate of the hotel now," Nina said to Amira on the phone. Amira quickly ran downstairs while disguised in another cloth. She walked past Nina to be sure she was alone. After walking past Nina, Amira walked back inside and told her to come to room 112. "Our husbands are into rituals. Watch this," Amira said and handed over her phone to Nina. Nina watched the video in shock. She stood up and cried for some minutes before shouting, "So this is why I am suffering? This is why Ray treats me like a nobody, even though my family is wealthy and can mess him up?" Nina continued talking and crying. "I am telling you this so that we can report to your family. Ray and Dandy need to rot in jail for life." Amira was still talking when Nina stood up and said, "Video successfully deleted. You cannot cover your husband's error. I thought you were virtuous." Nina started shouting, "Come to Mangrove Hotel in Mangrove Avenue. Amira is waiting," she said while laughing and adding, "I am so shocked at this news, but I can never leave my husband. I can never leave Ray. If I do, my parents will disown me. They told me never to come out of this marriage. Besides, do you expect me to drop the title that makes men and women tremble when I pass? So far as he doesn't bring another woman home, I am never exposing or leaving my husband," Nina said while she laughed. Amira and Nina began fighting. "I will remain Pastor Ray's wife for life," Nina continued shouting. They were still fighting when Ray and Dandy got to the hotel. They both ran to the room and saw the two women fighting. Ray hugged and thanked his wife for protecting their church by covering up for him, while Dandy began slapping and beating Amira. They then dragged Amira out to their car and left. By the time they got to Dandy's house, it was almost 5 a.m. They were about to kill Amira when a flood of messages started pouring into Pastor Ray's phone. A look at his phone, and Pastor Ray saw his naked back enjoying the corpse while Dandy stood beside him and was hurrying him up. They didn't know that before they came, Amira had contacted an anonymous investigative journalist to post the video and tell the world that she was in captivity and about to be killed by her husband and Pastor Ray. So while they were manhandling Amira in her hotel room, she had placed a camera that was transmitting live to the journalist. As they were crying about the video, more videos of them threatening and trying to kill Amira were also posted immediately. So they had no choice but to release Amira without harming her. She ran home and used all her life savings to take her sister and mother out of the country with her. A few months later, after leaving the country, Amira saw Ray preaching on national television. He was holding a digital prayer session with Prophesies, and people were watching him. They claimed it was an allegation and that such a thing could never happen. People claimed that a true man of God was being framed. Amira also heard that Dandy had remarried another devout church member. And the cycle continues. Evil can exist anywhere. Don't think that anyone who enters the church is a good person. Even the devil goes to church. So before you surrender to that brother or sister, ask yourself, do I know him or her very well, or am I just listening to a prophecy from a man of God saying they were mine?
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.